What's up, comic book fans? It is Connor Christensen with another edition of 5 in 5, where I tell you the 5 best comics you should pick up this week. It's a pretty light week this week for comic books, but there's still some pretty big releases from Image, DC, Marvel, and even Aftershock. So let's dive right in. Kicking off our list this week at number 5 is The Brothers Dracul number 2 from Aftershock Comics, our first Aftershock title to make our 5 in 5 video series. It's written by Cullen Bunn with art by Mirko Kolak. Cullen Bunn's name is pretty big in comics right now. He's got a title with just about every single publisher with the exception of DC. And while you may not like his superhero work too much, it's hard to deny that his gritty, more adult, mature books aren't totally fantastic. I mean, just look at works like Unholy Grail, The Damned, and his most recent work, The Dark Ark. Brothers Dracul is half historical fiction, half horror story that examines the teenage years of the Russian Prince Vladimir the Impaler and his time in prison with the Ottoman Empire with his brother. The only difference is he's learning how to hunt vampires, that is. So really just think of it kind of like Vlad Helsing, if that makes sense. This isn't Bunn and Kolak's first time working together. In fact, it's not even their first time working on a historical fiction book together. Last year they teamed up for Unholy Grail, also from Aftershock Comics, and that was pretty critically acclaimed. It seemed to be loved by just about everyone, and that looked at the life of Arthur Pendragon with a more Lovecraftian theme. So if these guys know anything, it's how to re-examine historical fiction with a more fantastic lens. If you like historical fiction, and you kind of like that creepy vibe of vampires, definitely check out The Brothers Dracul. You'll enjoy it. Our number 4 book this week is Delta 13 number 1, written by Steve Niles with art by Nat Jones. Dare I say it, but it kind of feels like we're living in the midst of a golden age of horror comics with so many fantastic horror books like Gideon Falls and Infidel being released right now. IDW Publishing is getting in the fray, returning a prolific horror comic book writer back to the genre. I'm talking, of course, about Steve Niles. This promises to be a series that is Dead Space meets The Expanse meets Alien, so I'm really stoked to see where it goes, and the cover evokes this total feeling of body horror, so I can't wait to see what Steve Niles is up to. Pick this book up this week. At number 3 this week, we've got Black Panther number 1, written by Ta-Nehisi Coates with art by Daniel Acuna. And with Marvel's fresh start, the legacy numbering of the Black Panther will be stripped away. Luckily, not the writer. That's right, Ta-Nehisi Coates is sticking on to write the newest fresh launch of Marvel's Black Panther. Ta-Nehisi Coates is one of America's finest laureates, especially in modern American literature, and comic book fans have been lucky enough to be treated to his narrative work with the Black Panther over the past 2 years or so. He's even being teamed with fan favorite artist Daniel Acuna for this fresh start run, which promises to be more exciting than anything he's done before. Coates may have struggled just a little bit with his early issues of Black Panther, but once he got his stride underneath him, he really nailed the super exhilarating superhero action and perfectly balanced that with socio-political themes that never seem to take away from the overall narrative. You give him a bold new playground, an intergalactic setting, and an all-new universe to play with, and I can't wait to see where Coates goes with T'Challa. At number 2 this week, we've got Detective Comics number 981, written by James Tynion IV, with art by Raul Fernandez and Alvaro Martinez. After 47 issues with one of DC's flagship titles, James Tynion IV is sadly saying farewell to Detective Comics with number 981 out this Wednesday. Look for a heartwarming farewell to the Bat family in issue number 981, one that will cement the legacy of the Gotham Knights and the history of Batman mythos, as well as James Tynion's legend and the Batman writing mythos. I mean, the guy's done an incredible job, and like I said, he has really elevated some of these characters to heights they've never seen before. How many of us expected Clayface to work with Batman? Not many. It's been a great run. Really excited to see how Tynion closes this out, and also if Tynion watches this, thank you very much. You did an incredible job. Alright, and if you've been watching 5 in 5 since it started, you know we're a sucker for milestone issues here, so our number 1 choice shouldn't come as a surprise this week. It's Invincible Iron Man number 600, written by Michael Bendis, with art by a whole slew of artists featuring Mike Deodato and Daniel Acuna. Like I said, I know we're suckers for milestone issues here at 5 in 5, but hear me out, this one is legitimately important and definitely needs to be picked up by everyone who watches this. It's truly the end of an era for Marvel Comics with Invincible Iron Man number 600, as it marks Michael Bendis' final issue with the company. Bendis' final issue with Marvel couldn't have come at a better time with Invincible Iron Man number 600. I mean, we're talking about a character who is so integral to the modern Marvel universe, written by a writer who is equally as integral to the modern Marvel universe. So it's completely fitting that he bids adieu to the company with Iron Man. If you're a fan of the modern Marvel universe, you really owe thanks to Brian Michael Bendis because he's created so much of the universe we all read today. Do him a solid, say thank you, pick up Invincible Iron Man number 600, and to Mr. Bendis himself, thank you for creating such an awesome universe and helping build Marvel back into a kick-ass stellar publication. Alright, and that wraps it up for 5 and 5 for the week of May 23rd, 2018. Be sure to check back at adventuresinpoortaste.com on Wednesday for reviews of all these books and many more. Subscribe, rate, review, share with your friends, tweet it out. Tell your favorite creators to look at this video series. Whatever you gotta do, whatever you feel like doing. Just give me a little ego boost. Give AIPT a few more viewers. We'd really appreciate it. Until next week, I'm Connor Christensen.